Well, yes. That was
Try that again?
You want to start again?
How you feel about that, huh?
I literally I smell smoke. I short-circuited my brain there for a second. All that to say, welcome to Season 2, Episode 8 of the HUNKS Podcast. HUNKS Podcast. My name is Tim.
I'm Dana.
I'm Matt.
I'm Rory.
We are the titular hunks of the podcast, and we're so excited to be rocking and rolling towards the end of this exciting second season, brought to you in part by the Winnipeg Comedy Festival and Manitoba Safe at Home Grant Program. On today's episode, we have a guest that we're very excited about, the host of The Breakdown on Sirius XM channel 167, as well as the weekly show on comedy Canada Laughs. I believe it's still, Canada Laughs channel. What? No?
Nope.
That's not, it hasn't been that for a while, has it? No, not at all. Let's take it from the top. Welcome to the HUNKS Podcast. Boy, here we go. Thanks for being on the podcast. Allison Dore, everybody.
Hey!
Hi, Allison.
Hey.
Hi, Allison.
Yeah, it's called Just for Laughs Canada now, but
right.
that's
That's what I thought.
confusing because
Yeah.
they have everything, so it gets confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They're like the kid in the sandbox that piles all the sand, and it's great. They know what they're doing when they're working with sand.
Yeah, I bought my furniture from Just for Laughs.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's cheap, but it's you get what you pay for, but it looks good.
Yeah, but the shipping times are out of control.
Yeah,
But they're hilarious.
they're hilarious. Yeah.
Shipping times, yeah.
Thank you for being a guest on the podcast. Sorry, I'm trying to go for the record for the worst introductions of all podcast history, but
That wasn't even close.
no.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Geez.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll keep going then.
Keep introing. Yeah.
So lucky to have the founder of Howl and Roar Records. Give it up for Allison Dore.
It's me.
Yay. I do love Howl and Roar Records, and it put out a lot of great content on there. What was the? Can I ask what kicked that off? What started Howl and Roar? How that came to be?
Rage.
Rage. Yeah.
Pretty much. It was a couple of things. One was, so the show that I do, the weekly show I do for Channel 168 is Allison Dore's broadcast, and we celebrate women in comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And initially I wanted it to be just Canadian women. And then when I got into the system to see what was in there, I was like, oh, I have enough for like 4 episodes. And so now it's funny women around the world. But I noticed that like there's a lot of women in Canada that were recording, and like headliners that have nothing. Mm-hmm. And so I got real mad about that for a while. And then I also just, you guys know the infrastructure of comedy doesn't really benefit comedians.
Right. Yeah.
And so it ended up, I wanted to just help comics create really high quality content and get as many women recording as possible. So we're female centric, which means 70% of our focus and output is women.
Yeah.
And then of the remaining 30%, priority is given to men of color in the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the idea of anything being exclusionary. Initially it was going to be all women, and then I was kind of like, I don't like anything that's all only these people. So no offense, guys, but like straight white dudes are sort of the last on our priority list.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, a lot of it was just really wanting to be able to play jokes by these women that I think are so funny.
Yeah.
And then also just being really frustrated. So it's like the business model is people before profits and trying to put as much money kind of back into the business and helping as many people as possible create their album.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And everything is presented so professionally. Like if you look at all those album covers and whatnot, everything about it looks so great, looks so fully realized.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And part of about paying people and sort of helping people make money is also all the people in the background. Like everyone gets paid before me, you know what I mean? And it's about putting the money into the album. So like we spend so much money on post-production because our sound engineer Matt we met is like one of the best.
Overcharges.
I didn't say that. No, he's like one of the best in the business. And then with designers and stuff like that, like we work with a lot of people who are not necessarily like professional graphic designers, but my thing is I'm going to err on the side of overpaying people instead of underpaying.
Yeah.
And the goal being that, I want what we put out for you to be the best possible thing it can be.
Yeah.
Well, and then that pays off though, because if you pay people if you pay them a fair rate, that's going to for their work, they're going to put more of their heart and soul into it, you know, to make sure that it's a quality product to put out there.
I just feel like so much of the comedy industry is about like, oh, you're a Canadian comedian, you're a dime a dozen and a piece of garbage, and we're going to give you $1 and you're going to say thank you. And so in every aspect of what I do, I just want people to feel valued, right? And you know, I'm very like a bleeding heart socialist, and and so that's all I want. I just wanted to create a space in the comedy community where it's like, oh no, here I want you to feel good about what you do and like someone cares and thinks that it has value.
Yeah.
That's so great. That's awesome. Yeah. That's really nice to hear.
Yeah, and it's just like so sad that it's so unique.
Yeah. You're the one.
I basically, I was talking to someone the other day and I'm like, basically my goal is to do the opposite of what everyone else does. And pretty much every business too, like not just in comedy, but every business. I'm like, no, I want to do the opposite of what you do.
Yeah.
I want to make less money so that other people have good stuff.
Yeah.
If you're awake, I'm going to sleep.
I live at night now.
A night person. I love what's coming out of there. It's a lot of things between this podcast and being able to have you on it seemed to work out timing wise in a nice little way. We had your brother on last week, and he told us some stories about his high school shenanigans that you said you might have some fact checks on, or
so. Yeah, here's the thing. He had a really good time, by the way, and so he was
in high school, or
no. I mean, he did have some really good times in high school, but no, he had such a good time on the podcast. So he was like, he's like, you're going to have the best time. So you guys need to live up to the hype. But no, so in his Two Truth is okay, one of the things that he put in there was putting the staples in his teacher's coffee.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, well, that was not in high school. So that's a lie. And
that was me last week.
I believe he was in grade 7 when he did that. 7 or 8.
That's more excusable then, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it?
Yeah.
Just
their
like
brains
less
are
aware
like
of consequences, maybe.
Yeah.
But do you think a 7-year-old could handle himself in prison?
Not when he was 7 years old, when he was in the 7th grade. So he was like
so 13.
He was like
12,
13.
12.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then that's fine.
But also, John now, as a middle-aged man, could not handle himself in prison. So,
who among us could? Could you handle yourself in prison?
Some days.
Yeah.
Some days.
Yeah, I feel like not having to cook for myself would be a bonus.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd be able to.
Yeah, that's the fear. That's the fear of prison for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like less people would look down on you if you just napped all day. You know,
That's
can't get away
true.
with that on the outside.
That's a good point. That is a good
Maybe you
point.
can.
Sorry to interrupt you. So he was in the 7th
Oh no
grade.
yeah, I was just like technically that, and this is what I'm sort of known for, especially with my brother, is he has a memory, and then I go, well, actually, and he also mentioned that he was talking about when we all got called to the hospital when our grandfather died,
Yeah, I heard you were crying in the hallway.
and yeah, I remember being in the room, but I was probably crying in the hallway too. But I said to him, I go, well, which time? And he had forgotten. We all got called to the hospital, and they were like, this is it. Like, he's done. And we were all in the room standing around the bedside, and our grandfather sat up wide awake and was in a bad mood. And
Why is everybody looking at me?
yeah, he's like, I want to sit in that chair. I need something to eat. Like, just and yeah, someone went to get the nurse, and she was like, oops.
It's my
Try
first
again
day.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess we made an oopsies. And then and then we got called in, I guess, like a week later.
Yeah.
And he had forgotten about the double call in. I was like, dude, yeah, that was it was an exciting time in our family.
Oh
I
man.
remember visiting my grandpa once in the hospital, and he was sort of on his way out, and he was in a bad mood also, and he had taped
On his way
a
out of the
note
hospital?
yeah, he had taped a note to his room door that said, "Go away. P.S. I break noses for fun."
It's so cute.
He was mad.
I thought you were going to say he hung a sign on his door that said "Gone Dying."
Sorry, my dog is barking.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sure.
All
our
right.
dog
What
will
kind of
start barking,
dog?
too.
He's a corgi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm so in lockdown mode still that the other day I saw like a puppy corgi out the window, and I called my partner Lindsay over. I was like, "Oh, you gotta come see this small dog. It's so small. Look out the window."
Rory's banging on the window like he's at an aquarium or something.
And the worst part is she was so excited to be called over to see this tiny dog.
Of course.
It turns out you're just on the 10th floor, and it was a huge dog. It's a Great Dane.
It was a horse.
Look at this cat.
There's this fucking corgi video. I'm sorry, I don't want it to just devolve into cute dog videos, but
Do it.
it's my life now. There's this freaking corgi who howls every time it eats, and it sometimes is like in the middle of bites, and it's like, but it's so good.
Yeah.
I'll
They're
put
the
it in
best
the
dog.
chat.
They're the best dog.
So cute.
Yeah.
How long have you
There's-
had Corgi for?
I've had him for about 5 years. I adopted him when he was 2.5.
Cute.
Oh.
Yeah.
A rescue Korg?
Yeah, and he's the best one.
Yeah.
But I moved into this building at the end of December, and in our last building, like, we had a door that went right outside, and so he's not used to people walking in the hallway. So
Oh, yeah.
every time people walk by, he's like, "What are you doing out there?" And it's like, "Dude,
Get
we live
inside.
here." Yeah, just nobody. Just shut up.
Have you always been a pet person? Have you always had pets, or is like the pet like a recent addition to your life?
Like, we never had good pets, so
Just
we had
broken ones, like the outlet
Pet
pets?
rocks.
we had our first pet was a hamster.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got a bird, a budgie
Ooh.
named Bo. And,
Okay.
I had a guinea pig that died on my 13th birthday.
Oh.
Good
Oh,
timing.
no.
Yeah. And then fish. You know what I mean? So, like, always
Yeah.
little things. So Chili's
Yeah.
my first ever dog. My first ever,
right.
like...
Okay.
I had a cat for a bit
Yeah.
a few years ago. But, yeah, he's my first my first dog, and now I'm like, what have I been doing with my life? I've been wasting my
Really?
dumb life up until now.
No.
Because they're the best. They're the best in the
Yeah.
world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got a dog back in September, and I think it's past the return rate or return date. So it's ours
Past
now.
the expiration date. She's dead.
Expiration
She stinks.
Yeah.
You gotta keep her in the fridge until the day you're gonna take out the garbage, and then quickly.
But you might. I'm surprised you haven't heard her yet. She does not like it when we podcast.
Yeah.
She just
That's-
talks at us and is like, "Shut up! You are 32 years old.
You're not talking
Nobody
to
cares.
anyone.
Everybody has a podcast. You think you're special?
I heard
Yeah.
a stat this morning that there's a new podcast launched every 6 seconds now.
That seems accurate.
Yeah, that
You
sounds
believe
about
that?
right.
That's a real stat?
Is that real?
That's what I heard on podcast news this morning.
You listen
Yeah, I
to a
listen to
podcast called
podcast
Podcast News.
Wow. You're really in it.
I'm fully in it.
I have so many friends that like started a podcast and did like 3 episodes, and then we're
Yeah.
like, oh, it's harder than I thought.
Yeah.
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 You had a run. You had a run podcast. Dig it in.
Yeah, and the only reason I'm not doing it right now is just like everything else got too busy. So I was actually, I said today, it's on temporary and maybe permanent hiatus. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to do it again, and I would love to do those interviews because it's just like an hour long form kind of.
Nice.
But and then talking about, you know, stuff you think about life in the world and all that kind of stuff. But it just, I mean, this is the other thing. When I started Howl and Roar, it all snowballed really fast. Like it,
Yeah, I
it was
bet.
like a tiny idea. And then like 8 months later, I was like, we're launched. And I did not know how much work it was and how
Yeah.
hard running a business is.
Yeah.
And how much paperwork there is. There's so much paperwork.
Right, because you're dealing with like royalties and stuff like that, yeah?
Yeah, well, and then just I incorporated, and then there's you got to have corporate minute books, and you got to do corporate taxes, and you got I mean, like I got an accountant. I got to the point where I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. I can't
Yeah.
do these numbers. But it just becomes like a mountain of things, and
Yeah.
I feel like I filled out so many forms this year.
Wow. Yeah.
Big form year, hey?
Yeah, big one.
So have you've been able to still release albums throughout the pandemic? Like people had them pre-recorded or
Yeah, so in some cases it was like, I mean, when the pandemic, to be honest, when the pandemic hit last March, it was kind of a blessing in disguise for me because we had so much, like we had just gotten so busy and we had so much
Yeah.
audio.
Yeah.
And then in some cases people come to me and they're like, I recorded this 2 years ago, I don't know what to do.
right.
And then we'll kind of take over the process at that point.
Cool.
And so because we haven't been able to figure out a way, like unfortunately the audience component is so important on an
Yeah.
album that we haven't been able to find a way, like with socially distanced audiences and mass audiences, like we just haven't been able to find a way
Yeah.
to make it, you know, sound good. Because
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
years from now, people aren't going to listen to it and go, oh, I bet this was filmed in the pandemic though. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And you see a lot of social media posts from comics doing like outside shows, and it's great that they're doing them, and the shows go great. They're getting their laughs, but it just sounds different and it feels different. And then people are recording like pandemic specials, and you're right. Like nobody's gonna go back. And I don't think that anybody's going to go back and watch TV shows. Like I've seen some commercials for TV shows where the characters are in masks and stuff. Nobody's going to want to go back and watch those seasons of Your Honor or whatever, you know. not Your Honor. What's the one I'm thinking of? I can't remember.
Mr. Judge.
It was a judge one. It was a judge one. It was a judge one, and the judge is wearing a mask. Okay, I'm not.
Masked Judge.
The masked judger.
Judge. But yeah,
Which congressional judge is behind his mascot costume?
By day, he's a judge. At night, he goes out and fights crime in the streets.
So you were able to get a little bit more caught up with the that's good.
Yeah, so I mean, we have one more album and then stuff sometimes takes time. Also, comics. I don't know if you guys know this. Sometimes don't like making decisions, and so some albums they're like,
I'm gonna have to get back to you on whether or not I agree.
So sometimes it's like, okay, I need you to listen to this and okay it, and then 4 months later they're like, oh, I'm gonna listen tomorrow. And so, which is fine. Like, and that's because that's the other thing about the way I am. I'm like, everybody is different. Some people don't want to listen to themselves. Somebody don't. And so whatever, man, I'll check in with you, but it's your timeline. Like it's, so yeah, we have an album coming out March 26th, and then we're finally caught up on everything. And then people who have come to us with audio they recorded before that, it's kind of everything's all caught up. And then now we're looking at doing a sketch album in studio.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, and so that should be fun and something different, but like you can't really do that with stand-up.
No.
So many people have been like, can't you just add a laugh track? And I'm like, do you know how impossible it is to make that sound real?
Yeah.
Like it's... It would the man hours it would take in post-production, like, no, I would never make the money back from your album. Like I would, I would be, we keep profits low, but if we don't have any, we can't make more stuff. So
maybe there's a way, maybe we can like design some sort of software that's artificial intelligence to, it'll like throw in a laugh track. Like, it'll be like 50 robots in a room laughing.
Just sounds like a fucking blender.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Some of them start just talking to each other. You have to shush the robots.
All the robots from Robot Wars who have retired just get to become part of this artificial intelligence comedy audience, you know? Because they have that with they have that with the NHL. They're piping in this like fake crowd response, and it's pretty advanced because it was that technology already existed for the video games, where if you score a goal, they react.
Right.
If there's a bad hit, they react. If they don't like a ref's call, there's a reaction for that. So we should be able to get 50 robots to be able to react to comedy, because it usually follows a specific rhythm.
When I have NHL money,
exactly.
we're gonna do it all the time. I'm never gonna have an audience again. Fuck those losers. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. It's a little bit price prohibitive for me at this point.
Well, for now, let's put a pin in it.
One robot, let alone 50 robots.
It's cheaper if you buy 50 too. It's
Bulk.
Yeah. So we're recording this on International Women's Day. So congratulations!
Happy International Women's Day.
Yeah,
we
it'll come
did
out
it
on Sunday, but we're doing it. So take it away.
Women.
It's funny. My partner is in radio, and the other, like on Friday, her boss sort of cornered her and was like, "So it's Women's Day, International Women's Day on Monday. So we're gonna get you to do a bunch of write-ups and stuff about female artists." It's like she's working overtime on Women's Day.
Oh, and like you have to be a woman to Google women artists. You know what I mean? Like we can't make a man do that.
Oh, my big fat fingers don't fit.
I'd probably just screw it up. Yeah.
I'd probably just pick up milk.
Like I can kind of see, like I can see where he's coming from, like, elevate women's voices and sort of guide the programming. But yeah, it was just kind of funny too.
Oh no, it's great. We want to do something for Women's Day, so we're going to make women do all the work.
Yeah.
That's how it works. That's
100%.
Welcome to Planet Earth.
But we're only going to pay for 80% of that time.
Yeah.
So But yeah, your show on Canada Laughs is Tuesdays, 8 p.m.
It's not called that anymore.
I know.
I still call it
I
that.
for some reason wrote it down,
Sometimes,
and it was just
so-
like in my head for so much. But
It's easier.
We all know it. We'll say it at the same time. It's just for
laughs. Canada.
Sirius XM channel 168.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Eastern time.
And it's lots of funny women.
Yeah.
What was that transition like? Were you were going into a studio before, and then everything had to get set up at home? Was there like kind of a mad dash to set that up, or did you already have a bit of a production studio set up?
Well, we have the tech guys at SiriusXM, Sam and Craig, are both like insanely amazing, and they really were kind of ahead of the curve and immediately knew,
cool.
like, okay, if we're going to be broadcasting from home, here's what people are going to need. We're going to have to order these. We're going to have to get this. So it was, I think it was like the stay-at-home order came into effect like March 15th. And
Yeah.
like a week before that, I was broadcasting from home.
Oh.
And yeah, like it was, they were
Wow.
all
Swift.
over it. And then, yeah, Sirius as a company takes it very seriously. This whole, like I remember in April, my boss, we were on a Zoom call, me and him and my co-host / producer Cassandra, and he was like, how much longer do you think we're going to have to do this? And Cassandra and I were both like at least till the summer. And he was like, no, what? I can't do this that long. And we're like, dude, we're still in it. Like, and you know, now it's the likelihood of us, I don't know, ever going, we're burning down the building. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But it was like the technological side of it was super easy, and like so the show I host on channel 167, which is Canada Talks, that's every day, right? So that's
Right.
the big, like if I was just doing the other show, they'd be like, oh, your show's canceled. It's too expensive to give you the equipment. But
Sure.
the so it was, and it's the setup is insanely easy.
Yeah.
It was just getting used to all our guests call in now, so I can't see their face. I'm not in the same room. And
Yeah.
interviewing is more challenging when you can't see the people.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Cassandra and I Zoom for the whole show so that we can, like, when we're doing interviews, we can, like, hand signal, like, me next or, you know, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's, and we've gotten used to that, but it's not, I mean, you don't get the same energy as being in the room, right?
Yeah.
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 But other than that, like we never took a day off. We never, and like
Didn't miss a step.
the American side of the company, like some shows were off for like 3 months because they couldn't figure out the tech issues. And on our side, it was
Did they try
seamless.
just turning it off and on again?
Yeah. No one told them. No one told them to do that. It's embarrassing.
That's wild because like so many podcasts that I listened to like didn't really miss a beat, like
Yeah.
kind of figured it out. Like it was spotty, the quality and stuff, but like, and that's not even big budget or whatever, you know, that's
I know.
crazy.
Like
Yeah.
Howard was off for a bit, and I'm like, all the money goes to Stern. What do
Yeah.
you mean? But also, like, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He owns the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he doesn't, but, you know, he's literally getting all of the money. So
Yeah.
he's pretty cemented in place. But yeah, like it was, so that was amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, I kind of like working from home.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's interesting to me. It'll be interesting to see what it's like when we come out of this. How many office buildings just get burned down or
Yeah.
Turn
into
into skate
something
parks,
else
hopefully.
when they
Yeah,
realize
yeah.
that it's just not necessary. I wonder if there'll be any shows that just they don't have writers' rooms anymore.
That's an interesting question because I know, like, you know, we had Catherine Reitman on before the new season of Working Mom started, and like she hates the Zoom writers room. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And I think so. It's like if it's up to her and she's running the show and it's safe, she's going to get
Yeah.
everyone in that room, right?
Yeah.
And I think for like a lot of writing, TV show wise. I think there's a lot of people that would rather be in the room, but I think it frees up a lot of options. Like I'm starting to realize now, like, oh, I could broadcast from anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I want to, I want to go to Australia for 2 months, I just bring my broadcasting equipment, which would fit in one very small bag.
Yeah.
And could literally do it from there. I mean, they probably wouldn't like that, but I could.
Could.
Yeah.
You'd have to do it in the middle of the night or whatever, but
But I'm nocturnal now, so it's okay.
yeah, there you go. Exactly.
It would all work out.
Yeah.
That might be ideal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't get the interviews via phone would be tough. I don't have great hearing, and I look at people's faces and I look
Yeah.
at their mouths. I had a friggin' psychiatrist appointment via the phone, and it was just probably the worst hour of my week. Like it was just the freaking worst, because this guy could tell that I was uncomfortable talking, because I'm like, I don't know you. I was just trying to get an ADD diagnosis, yes or no. Like, but then I couldn't get it through my therapist. She's like, I'll give you just go to this guy. He's a psychiatrist. And then so he just like talked and talked and talked, and then I was like, but do I have ADD? Like,
See,
and
to
he's
me,
like-
that's classic ADD. Just talked. You
He's like,
obviously
I don't
do.
know. Did you pay attention to me? Then no, you're fine.
You fucked.
yeah. Phone call doctor's appointments are the worst.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they're also like they have their phone across the room and are
Oh
just
my
screaming
God.
into them.
Yes.
I had a doctor's appointment by the phone, and my doctor spent the first 5 minutes telling me what was wrong with her. And I was like, what? This is not the dynamic when I'm in office. She was like, oh, I hurt my wrist and I don't know what's happening. And I was like, I don't care.
See a
Does
doctor?
this look
I don't
bad to
know.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sending you pictures of my stool. Something's wrong.
that would be
Came out
amazing.
legs first.
I gotta stop eating whole chickens.
Okay.
Anyways, happy International Women's Day.
We did it.
Should we play a game? Play a little
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can play a game.
Yeah.
Matt, do you want to explain how this game works?
I would love to explain how this game works. We're going to play Two Truths and a Lie. It's our favorite game on the Hunks podcast. It's a game where one of us says 3 statements, 2 of which are true, 1 of which is a lie, and everybody else has to guess which is the lie. And this week, giving us the 3 statements is Allison Dore. Allison.
All right. I'm going to deliver them each in monotone so
Okay.
that I don't give
Okay.
anything away.
I feel like that was also your brother's strategy.
We are eerily similar. All right. You know what I didn't think about? The order. Okay.
Oh,
Just going to go for it.
Yeah.
A man once broke up with me by faking his own death.
God, I hope that's true.
I really hope that's true.
Oh my God.
I once was pulled over by a ride program when I was drunk and had an ounce of weed in the car.
Okay.
What's a ride program?
Oh, like drunk drive, like when the cops
Like,
are screening,
like
like,
the-
they pull over you have to like
stop.
drive
Like
through
check-
it.
right, right,
and
Check
they-
stop.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha, yeah.
Okay.
Do we call it different things in different provinces?
I don't know,
Is
a
that
check
what-
stop?
Check stop.
we call it check
Yeah,
stops
okay.
here.
They call
check
it the
stops here.
ride program here.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Ontario.
Seems kind of juvenile.
Stupid place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I live here?
They spell it WRID.
Yeah, it sounds like you get a sandwich at a chalky bar.
Well, good. How many, have you had any chocolate milk tonight?
All right. The last
Okay,
one.
Last one.
I once told my mother to suck my dick, and she replied, I don't like that.
That has to be true.
Wow.
Oh,
I
that's
feel like
good.
that has to be true.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
I got an idea. I think the first one's the lie.
The guy faking his own death.
Faking his own death. It's so good.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be a lie. No offense, because I think that would be hilarious. Sorry, I want that to have happened to you, but I don't.
I have
think
so many stories for you.
Okay, I'm gonna guess that the maybe the rideshare one was the lie. Maybe you were in the passenger, or I don't know. But that's a difficult situation to find yourself in. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'm
Or what if she was on mushrooms?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have always wanted to fake my death. I really want that to be true.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm gonna go with the telling mom to suck your dick is the lie.
I'm gonna jump on with Tim and say they being pulled over is a lie. I think there's an element of truth in there somewhere, but I think that's the lie.
I will say this: the lie does have an element of truth to it.
Okay.
Okay.
By the way, this coming up with these three things was like the most stressful thing that's ever happened. I texted my brother yesterday and was like, I need help. Nothing has happened to me.
I know, especially after like a year and change of like not going out or not like partying, not having. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think I've ever done anything in my life ever. And then my brother kept getting fixated. He was like, how many car accidents have you been in? And I was like, one? And he goes, no, but like, even if you were the passenger. I'm like, no, still just that one time. And he's like, oh. And then he goes, I've been in like 6. And I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay. The lie is the boyfriend killing himself or pretending he died.
Pretending he died.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That's what I tell everyone because he called me, and this was still when we were renting movies. And he's like, it was like a Sunday morning, and he's like, why don't I come over this afternoon and we'll rent movies and just like have a super chill day and watch movies and whatever. And I was like, yeah, that sounds amazing. And then he never showed up and never spoke to me again.
What?
Yeah, I know. So then I like to tell people,
Wow.
like, what, was I supposed to think he was dead? Like he died on the way to my house? So then I started telling people that he faked his own death to get away from me. But he didn't actually.
But he made those plans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like that's
so
Craziest
weird.
part.
Okay, one of my friends at the time goes, you must be wondering what you did. And I go, okay, listen, I'm always wondering that. But at the same time, this fucker
Not this time.
made
That's on
plan.
him.
Yeah.
What kind of psycho?
Yeah.
Like, just ghost.
And like
That's-
such coupley plans. We're like,
Yes.
listen,
Yes.
we're gonna get real comfy. We're gonna
Yeah.
fucking cozy up on the couch. It's not even like, yeah, we'll go get a drink tonight. It's
No,
that would be
it
like
was-
less
Yeah.
that's so fucked up.
He must have thought that like you were gonna react way different to that.
Yeah.
Like he must have thought like this will end the whole thing for sure.
Oh, I mean, it definitely did end it. So, because like, I was reading my book, waiting for him, and I fell asleep, and then I kind of woke up, and it was the evening, and I was like, "What's going on?" And then so I called him a couple of times that night, and he didn't answer, and I was like, "What the?" And then I called him the next day, and he didn't answer. I left a message, and then I was like, "Oh, I get it. I'm not.
Wow.
Yeah." And then, oh, guys, my life is so great. Dana, don't worry. I have a million stories.
I gotta
Things
hear
meant
it
in.
because that is like faking your own death. Because
Yeah.
obviously
I mean,
that's where
kind
my
of.
brain would jump to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there was this, we had met at this poker game. We used to play poker all the time at one of his friend's house. And he was like, so we were friends of a friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And then mid-game one time, he showed up with another girl.
This is
And
after?
This is 2 months after, 6 weeks or 2 months after. And I heard him say to her, because we had already started the game. It's like, go sit over there. You're not invited. And I heard him say to her, "Look, I just want to be honest with you. I used to date that girl over there." And I really wanted to be like, yeah, he's just going to not show up again one day.
You should have said, technically, we're still dating.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I wish I had thought of that.
Yeah, never closed the loop.
But yeah, I was too mortified. So
And then he left the party to go get smokes, and no one ever saw him again.
yes.
Anyways, you wait here. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Get nice and cozy on the couch, babe.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
Tuck you
I'll
in.
come back with some movies.
How old was this guy? How old is a person who does this?
He was about 27.
Too old.
Too
Yeah.
Yeah,
old.
way too old.
Yeah, we weren't teens. Like this,
Yeah.
so I lived in my own apartment. Like this
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, you're playing poker. You play
Yeah.
poker. Your poker
I'm
age.
a full grown adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
It was a fun.
Wild.
It was a fun one.
So then, how the heck did you get yourself out of the
Yes, that
wife
ride
ride
program.
Yeah.
wife program?
The First Wives Club.
So yeah, that was there was okay. Also, my brother was there.
Wow.
And yeah, I honestly don't know what happened to us. Like
Yeah.
our parents have never done drugs in their lives. They've maybe been drunk one time.
That's
my brother
how
and
it
I are both
starts.
like, yeah. My brother and I are both like, put it in my face though.
Can I inhale this?
And so and I remember we like there was a show that night or something, and we were in Ottawa, and we took my parents' car, and I was supposed to be the designated driver. But then someone, like a friend of mine, kept bringing me drinks, and I was like, "Well, be rude."
Well, yeah. Free is free.
I mean,
Those are the
Yeah.
rules. You
can't-
drink the free.
Yeah.
so I was drinking some double Ryan Gingers, and I had gone and picked up a half ounce of weed. And my brother didn't know that. So when he got into town, he also went and picked up a half ounce of weed. And then and then we
You
stopped
guys
at
both show up at a party with the same half ounce of weed.
Oh no, it was
Embarrassing.
not for the party. That was for later.
Yeah.
I had a problem back then. Anyway, so what saved it was House of Georgie's Pizza. This is what I'm convinced of, because so we stop at House of Georgie's, which is on Elgin Street in Ottawa, and you can get pizza and gravy. Like you put the gravy on the pizza.
What?
Like
No.
brown gravy?
Yeah.
What?
It's amazing.
I love
We've got
that.
to get them as a
Whoa.
sponsor.
No, it's
Yeah.
amazing. Because you would think, you're like, that doesn't go together, and then you
No.
eat it, you go, why is it so good?
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
So John was like, we got to stop at House of Georgie's. I ate a slice of pizza with gravy. And then as we're driving, and we're not taking, it's not like we're on the highway, but
Yeah.
we're going under a bridge, and as I turn left, they're hidden themselves. So you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
see them
Chili
when you're going
peppers?
through the bridge.
Yeah.
So I got to pull over the ride program, and now we're freaking out because also my brother had gotten the weed out, and so now we have just like a giant baggie of weed.
Oh.
He's got it all divided into grams.
Yeah. Also, my parents can never listen to this podcast. Oh God.
We'll put a
They-
parental block on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't. They don't know the story. So
The parental block is called being a podcast.
I mean, it's pretty effective. So I turn in. I'm like, oh my God, what do I? We both immediately light cigarettes because in our minds,
Yes.
You're done.
we're like, we're just
Enjoy
smoking
wh-
cigarettes, and you can
Yeah.
you can't be drunk and
Oh.
smoke and drive.
That's
ridiculous.
too many things at once.
And we're both freaking out. And here's the rookie mistake: if you're gonna lie to the police officer who asks if you've been drinking that night, don't say I only had one.
Yeah,
Because
no.
they're
Yeah.
gonna breast. You
Yeah.
have to say zero. I didn't know. I said I had one drink. And so I had to do the breathalyzer, and they don't tell you have to blow in it like a kazoo.
Oh yeah, you got to make a
Oh.
noise.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's like a. It's like a steady stream kind of thing. Like it's not the normal way you would breathe. And so I
Right.
couldn't figure it out at first, and the cop was getting very mad. And he was like, if you don't do it right, I'm going to charge you with failure to comply. And I'm like, I'm complying. I don't,
Yeah.
my breathing doesn't work. Anyway, I blew 0.02 under the limit.
Oh my.
Whoa.
And
Oof.
so, and I think that it was the pizza and gravy
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
that
Cut it
sucked
down.
up that little bit.
And maybe
Yeah.
the cigarette. Who knows? You know.
Probably they are made of magic.
Yeah.
And my brother is in the passenger seat with his giant baggie of weed under his shirt, like. In his belly.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just pregnant. Don't mind
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. And then so the cop had to let us go, and then we literally first of all drove under the speed limit the whole way home,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
and we're both
With
like,
the hazards on.
oh my god, we are gonna smoke so much weed when we get home because I'm stressed out. And we're both.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to change my underwear. That was the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Oh, man.
And yeah, and
Kudos.
FYI, guys, never drove drunk again.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Good.
What was the limit then? Like, so it was because probably the limit's gone down since then.
0.8
I feel like
maybe,
it's
or-
just only ever gone down in Manitoba, at least. Basically, if you have like one drink, you're gonna blow over.
Yeah, so this was okay, I don't want to say exactly how many years ago it is because I
Yeah.
don't want you guys to know that I'm actually secretly very old. But it was quite some time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say I was in my mid-20s.
Okay.
Okay, so we're
Back
talking
then.
like 2010s.
Sure.
No, I don't know. I don't
Sure,
know how
yeah,
time works.
that number sounds good. Let's go
Wow.
with that number.
Wow, that must have been a harrowing experience. I bet you guys drove home more sober than you've ever been as well.
Oh my
after
God,
that.
we were both devastated, and then we're both like,
Yeah.
we're idiots, and I'm like, this
Yeah.
is my fault, and it was awful.
I've
and guys,
learned
never
my
do
lesson.
that. It was literally
Yeah.
like by the way, a 10-minute drive to our house. Like it's not even like it was far.
Yeah.
But we got that did scare me straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it that night that you also told your mom to suck your dick?
You're getting away with everything.
In fact, I was stone cold sober when I told her that. I say you can suck my dick a lot
Yeah.
to people, and I can't remember what she said. And
it's
I was
like
sort
Merry
of
Christmas.
basically.
Yeah.
And I was sort of joking around, but I was also like, she was kind of annoying me, and I was like, whatever, suck my dick. And she went, Allison, I don't like that. And I was like, well, okay. But she's like, at this point, like if I said that when I was a teenager, I would have gotten murdered. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
at this point, she's very, like, our parents are very desensitized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't.
Yeah.
I used to do a joke because I had this blowjob joke, and my parents would come and see me all the time. And so after the joke, I'd be like, guys, my dad's clapping. Weird. Because my dad does super, like, he's the most support. He's like, you're the funniest person. And so he would generally be like, she's so funny. And I'm like, okay, but don't laugh at this joke.
This one's not for you. Pretend it's a podcast and forget about it.
My mom actually started listening to the podcast, and
Shout out to Linda.
shout out to Linda.
Hey, Linda, suck my dick.
Yeah, suck my dick.
Oh, we got the name of the podcast. We got the title for the episode.
But she did say, she's like, you're very candid. Like,
Yeah.
oversharing? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun for parents.
Yeah.
I think.
I
Also,
bet.
Linda, if you're listening, I do want to apologize. I respect you very much. It is International Women's Day. And you don't have to, but I respect any woman who squishes a child out of their loins.
Respect.
Because I don't
Yeah.
want to do it. So good for you, Linda.
Yeah, that seems uncomfortable.
yeah. I read some reviews online.
Yeah.
It didn't sound
Yeah, Yelp does not recommend it.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Well, should we?
Those were great. Thanks,
Yes,
Allison.
Yeah,
those were
thank
fantastic.
you.
Oh, you're
Rounds of
welcome. Thank you.
applause. Let's put in 50 robots clapping.
Yeah.
Here.
Rusty, you can figure out what 50 robots clapping sounds like.
Just a bunch of metal clanging.
Symbols, basically.
yeah. It's the brass section. You guys want to hear some terrible sketch ideas?
Yeah,
So
let's
badly.
do it. Let's do it.
This is the part of the show where we bring the energy down pretty low, and I pitch some sketch ideas not fully thought out. Never will be.
Good theme.
Thanks. Okay, so this is more of I'm thinking of a parody of a movie parody, and maybe this has been done already. Maybe this has been farmed on the old sketch farm already. But Air Bud, they made a bunch of different Air Buds. Golden Retriever. He played football.
Oh,
he was
okay.
a
Oh, I see.
receiver,
I
yeah.
see. I
Golden
see. That was
Receiver.
a
The
pun.
original Air Bud. He's playing basketball, of course.
Yeah.
What Air Bud movie should they not make? Like what sport would be way too dangerous for a dog? You think?
Like MMA?
Yeah.
Luging. Yeah.
Like a guy beating up a dog.
Bungee jumping?
Yeah. Part of
In the movie,
Trampoline.
he'd be so
Slam
good
a
at
dog
it.
on a trampoline.
Like the dog would have to be so good at the bungee jumping. So he's just like got these cool sunglasses on. Jumps off a bridge.
But
doing
we
all
would
these
have to get
flips.
him in a scenario where it's discovered that this dog is good at bungee jumping somehow.
Right.
Like he can't actually be bungee jumping. He has to like be chasing something, and then he gets a vine stuck around his legs, and then he goes over a bridge or something.
Now I'm kind of into it. Now
Yeah.
I'm like, I would probably
Yeah.
watch that.
No, they should make this, I
And
guess.
then the
Yeah.
bungee jumping scouts,
Yeah.
I guess, see this, and they're like, Dennis, hear me out. And
You know the bungee jumping rule book, right?
Of course, we just finished writing it.
Did we put anything in there about the species of bungee jumper?
Also, I don't think it's a competitive sport.
yeah, I was just gonna say,
No, you might have a point.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of MMA
Yeah.
Yeah.
and him, or like a Rocky type movie.
Yeah.
With a golden retriever. And then the golden retriever in the next movie trains a human.
Yeah.
Like trains a human to be a boxer.
It would be subtitled an underdog story and dog being all capital letters.
Oh, Rory.
no.
Yeah.
we're doing
I'd
this.
like to see them.
It's a Rocky style, so it's like 11 rounds of the dog just getting its ass kicked. And it wins on a technicality.
Yeah. Oh man, I'd like to see them explain away the origin story of a dog being really good at billiards. Like how?
Well, it would have to be an alcoholic. I think it would have to
Yeah.
start there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good point.
And divorced.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sad. His backstory is sad.
This dog is fucking sad.
But then he finds his purpose in billiards. But also, he should play snooker and not pool. It should be the dumb billiards.
Yeah.
I had my 10th birthday in a pool hall.
Awesome.
By your design?
Yeah, I was like, yeah,
All your
cool. I had a cue that you screwed together.
You way.
As a 10-year-old?
Yeah.
Oh my God! All these other
In fact,
10-year-olds wearing
it
jean
was-
jackets.
It was
Smoking
the-
cigarettes.
It was the owner of the pool hall that gave me that cue for my birthday because I had my birthday there. And he was like, "Here's a cue, I guess." It was like it was warped and shit. Like it was
That's
just an old
sweet
one he
still.
had laying around.
Yeah. But you could shoot it around corners if it's warped.
Yeah, that's right.
But should we make a movie out of that story?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The guy who peaked at 10.
Can I tell you a true story? I
Please.
feel like the best year of my life was grade 4. And I'm not saying I won't have another really great year, but I really feel like grade 4 could not be beat.
What happened?
And-
Tell us what happened in grade 4.
Is it a good teacher? Good class?
I
things
was
going on?
okay. So the year before we had switched schools, and at my old school I got like bullied a lot, but at this school like I had friends. So grade 4, I was super popular.
Oh, nice.
My mom bought all my clothes at Dalmi's Kids.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Which I don't even know if they had that store outside of Ottawa. I don't even know if that was a.
Never
You
heard
know
of
what?
like-
I feigned a whoa, but it's because it
sounds like
sounded
it
impressive,
Yeah.
but
So
I
cool.
don't know it.
It was good stuff.
Yeah.
I had 3 boyfriends that year.
Whoa! At the
Oh.
same time, juggling them?
No, all separate. All
Oh, okay.
separate.
We show up to a poker
boyfriend.
game and we're like, "I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to date that guy." Show up to a game of Duck Duck Goose. Sorry.
I dated 2 of the ducks.
But you're my
Well,
goose,
this is
baby.
lame.
You're my goose.
Let's get out of here. Let's play soccer baseball. It's pretty lame.
I did really love
3
soccer.
Of
boyfriends.
course. It was the best sport.
It was.
I was just I was firing on all cylinders, and then the next year I got put in the nerd herd,
Oh, no.
and everything fell apart.
What's the nerd herd?
It was the enriched class.
Yeah.
The rest of the school called us the nerd herd, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's kind of clever, a little bit.
it was. I mean, it's not the worst, right? It
Not the
rhymes.
worst.
It
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
but
I bet
everything fell apart after that.
A parent came up with Nerd Herd and passed it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Probably,
Definitely.
probably, yeah.
I remember the summer between grade 5 and grade 6. I remember clearly having a moment where I just sort of like wide-eyed thought, my life, like I'm never going to be more free than this moment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, how old were you? Sorry?
I was about 10. It was like that. It was
the
like the
pool hall?
summer, the pool hall summer. That would have been that summer that I turned 10.
You
Other
weren't
kids
wrong.
are learning how to ride a bike, and you're learning how to jump an 8-ball.
Yeah. Smoking.
You got the training wheels on your pool cue. Okay.
man.
How about this idea? It's also in the world of movies. Guess what? I've been watching almost movies.
Almost
doing. I've been watching almost movies. Almost Famous. Okay, so you know X-Men, the world of X-Men, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the more they make those movies, the more the universe seems to expand, and
Yeah.
Right.
we meet new mutants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it seems like every mutant that they show has like a fairly convenient power. Like, oh, your eyes shoot lasers, so you get special glasses. That's kind of inconvenient, but most of them are like, things that they can use to their advantage in battle. But there has to be like a bunch of mutants who it's just like made their life so much worse, or just like really inconvenient mutations,
Right.
Yeah.
And they're not useful in any sort of like fighting crime way.
Right.
They're
No.
Like
barely-
it just hurts when their hair grows.
Yeah, or like their nipples drip a lot.
gross. And it's not anything cool like acid. It's just water.
It's water.
Acid would be worse.
Well, I guess, but you
Yeah.
figure out a way. You probably be able to attach some sort
Get
of
over
like,
here.
Hold them down. This will take a while.
They don't call me acid tits for nothing.
But there has to be a bunch of people who are like, fuck, wow, like, you know,
Yeah,
instead
sure.
of running around really fast, like,
Yeah, we only see the useful mutants.
yeah, there must be some really unuseful mutants.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't want to take away from this, Tim, but either
Yeah.
we've pitched this before or this is someone's bit.
I feel like there's a movie about this.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah?
Of like,
Well, there was
yeah,
like a
or
Ben
there's
Stiller one, right? Did they have mutations
Yes.
in that?
Mystery Men? No.
Mystery Men,
no,
yeah.
right? They were just...
And it was like Hank Azaria with the spoons.
yeah, and
Right. But those weren't mutants, but...
No.
Yeah, this...
no, but they claim to have superpowers, but really, the Paul Rubens character was really the the only one that
Yeah.
could use his.
Yeah.
Oh, and then eventually
Good movie.
the guy, spoiler alert, turns invisible.
Yes, that's right. He can only
Yeah.
be invisible when he's naked and no one's looking at him.
Yeah.
And then Ben Stiller's like Mr. Angry or Mr. Rage or whatever.
Yeah.
And it only works at the end.
Furious?
Oh yeah, Mr. Furious.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right? Yeah.
I think Mr. Angry sounds better.
Mr. Mad.
Mr. Mad Boy. Uncle Mad.
But yeah, I mean, the X-Men world is such a big, big, huge thing that, of course, somebody must have. This has probably been done, but I thought, hey, let's throw it out there. Do you guys want to
No,
hear another
fun
idea
shit.
that's probably already
like
been
it.
done?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm almost certain that this idea has been done. I think I've seen this in a sketch somewhere, and someone's gonna know, I'm sure. But
It's about a dead parrot.
a barbershop quartet where everyone sings the low note.
I think we pitched this to
Yeah, I
each
think
other.
we pitch this to each other on a weekly basis.
We pitch this every week. Yeah.
Bo, bo, bo.
Everybody get down to Reggie's. I like the idea if the bass guy is like the Justin Timberlake of the group and he's the one that makes it big and goes solo.
So he's got all his solo songs are just so low.
One tone. If you ever listen to them, they're always singing one tone.
Oh, bring
I
The
love
bass
it.
guy is the dumbest guy. He's always the dumb guy.
Yeah.
Like the Beach
'Cause we
Boys.
don't
I have a bit
forward.
about that. Like the Beach Boys. Christmas comes like Little Saint Nick, the Christmas song, and then the bass guy is like,
Yeah.
Christmas comes this time each year. Yeah, no shit, man.
Yeah, I love everyone singing the low note, of course. That's why we
Yeah.
pitch it to each other
Yeah.
every week, too.
Let's actually do that.
We got to do it.
We
I
got to do
swear
it.
it's been done. No, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure if you look through our shared documents, it'll be in there a couple times.
A few times, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
fair. I knew it was familiar, that's for sure. Yeah, well, that's that then. Hey, that's
I love him. I love
Good
him.
pitch.
Thanks.
Yeah, well done.
Thanks, Tim.
thank you for your thank you for being so gracious.
I would watch all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Great.
Let's get a studio on the phone.
We'll send them right to you.
Perfect.
CBC,
Nailed it.
CBC Gem, if you're listening, we're talking.
If you can dream it, you can
Stream it.
Stream
it.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
that's
so
3 weeks in a row we've said that.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. CBC Gem. You can dream it, you can steam it. So, Allison, you have a couple albums that people can go out and listen to of your stand-up, and I was reading in a bio that you call yourself a former comedian.
Yeah, don't listen to those.
Oh,
I loved it.
I liked it. Yeah, they were great.
Do you know what? Yeah, I haven't performed in a few years.
Okay.
And I don't know. I mean, look, the door's always open.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I have no plans. But I think when the radio thing happened by accident. And when I found myself in it, I was like, oh, no, this is what I love more than that.
Nice.
And then as I got busier, it's sort of like, you get to the point where I was doing like one show a month and, then you start to feel like, oh, I suck now. What am I doing? And then once I started the label, it was like, oh no, I have no time Or
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't. And so, yeah, I have no plans to get back to it at this point, but I think I did it for so long that it's so ingrained in my identity that it took me a really long time to be like, oh, I don't think I'm going to tell jokes for a while.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That must be kind of liberating, though, like to realize it. And
Yes. And so weirdly, it was listening to Stop Podcasting Yourself that I had this moment where I was like, well, Dave doesn't do stand-up anymore, and I still feel like Dave's a comedian. Like, he's really funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I can still be in the group if I don't tell jokes. And then, not feeling that pressure to, like, say yes to the one show a month that I could fit in, and just knowing, like, I'm probably going to bomb or it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
It was really liberating, and I feel like I don't, everyone this year has been like, oh my God, I miss performing so much, and I'm like, I don't.
yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, Felicia. So I think I've just realized that it's like my heart lies in other areas.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
interviewing people, and then I love helping comedians, and but I don't think I was ever, don't get me wrong, there were times where I super loved it, but I also don't think it was, I think it was something that was supposed to lead me somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're
And
not
it's so
completely
true, it's-
gone. Like it's
Yeah.
still part of a bigger.
Yeah, it's still in
Ecosystem.
there,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still plugged in. And I think that was for a while, I just felt like I wasn't in the community anymore.
Right.
And that felt weird because, again, it had been like 15 years. And I was like,
Yeah.
who am I
Right.
if I don't identify this way?
Right.
And so then once I started Howl and Roar, I was like, oh, no, I still have I'm still in it. I
Yeah.
still have a
Right.
place here.
Yeah.
You have to welcome me.
I love
Stan-
hearing about that. I'm always looking for an exit strategy.
Me too. And it is a fear of leaving the community because it's like, this is all I've known for so long.
Yeah.
And it's been my entire existence. So like, what the fuck would I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's the thing. And my best friend and I were talking, and she was like, because I'm always like, okay, if one thing falls apart, I'm fucked. Like, I don't actually work for SiriusXM. I'm contracted in, right? And so it's like I could literally get fired right now. And or something could happen, and the label could fold, and it's like if one thing falls apart, I'm like, oh no, I'm fucked. I can't pay my rent. And so you're always thinking of that next thing. And my best friend was like, yeah, but you're so established, man. You have like such a strong skill set. And I go, of what? Write down on paper what my skill set is. If I have to go apply for a job somewhere, I don't. And so it's one of those things where, I think it because comedy. Sorry guys, I'm just sitting on my pillow weird. Because comedy is such a weird, specific world. Like once you're in it for a really long time, you're like, I don't know how to be a normal person anymore.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I can't go back to normie life.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, the lifestyle and the job thing too. Yeah, it's great. This pandemic has really held a mirror up to my naked body this year.
Look at me.
It's my fatty deposit talking.
It's got a hand now.
Matt calls
Yeah.
his penis his fatty deposit.
Hey, fatty. Good morning.
Yeah, my doctor didn't understand it because it was over the phone.
Sure, yeah.
Oh man.
I think it's really important to be gracious with ourselves when we're needing to take a break or something like that. And stand up especially, it's one of those things where you only feel as valuable as you felt walking off the stage the last time you did it. Sometimes it's hard to look at all those experiences cumulatively and think of how it could have shaped you or positioned you for a place in success elsewhere. But just allowing yourself to walk away from it, and again, like, it's not going anywhere. You know?
Yeah.
Fucking 10, 15, 20 years from now, you want to go back and like just rip up an album for a year, you know, it's going to be there. And yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And someone was like, do you think you'll ever go back? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen a month from now. So I'm never
Nobody
thinking
knows.
like, yeah. And so I'm never like, yes, in 2 years I will return.
Right, yeah.
I've planned my return for.
But yeah, but sure, it's always there as an option. At this point, I can't really see it, but that doesn't.
Right.
But I also never saw me being in radio and having a record label. So
Yeah, right.
like, but
I can't see any end game.
yeah, no.
Yeah. It's almost
Believe me, I
folly
hear you.
to have expectations.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and it was interesting. Like, so I had been thinking about it, and I only had one show booked, and it was like a pretty small show, and I went and I had the best time. Like, I just had
Awesome.
fun, and it's
Yeah.
like, it probably wasn't my greatest set of all time, but I was having the most fun, and
Nice.
and I got off stage and I said to the guy who runs the show, I go, I think that was my last show. And he was like, what's
Right on.
happening? I go, yeah, I think I'm out. That
And
was,
then you walked into the lake.
yeah.
Oh, wait, I didn't park over here.
Wait a minute. I took the bus.
I think I did take the bus.
All right. Well, like I said, you can hear Allison on Canada just for Canada laughs on Sirius XM channel 168 every Tuesday at 8 p.m. and then of course every day on channel 167 with the breakdown. That's what 1 to 3 p.m.
3 to 5 Eastern.
Oh, okay. So in Winnipeg it would be 1 to 3. I
Not
think.
even close. Nope.
2 to 4.
From
2
the
to 4.
top. There we go.
Don't,
2 to 4.
I can't do. I can't even do time zones. I
zones.
once had a phone call with a comic who was in LA, and I accidentally called her. I got who's ahead and who's behind confused, and
Oh,
I accidentally called her at 8 a.m, and
Oh,
she was
no.
like, "Allison, what's going on?" And I was like, "I did math wrong. Go back to bed."
Is it an emergency?
Yeah. No, we're gonna talk in 6 hours. Bye.
And then, of course, check out Howl and Roar. Check out the website. Go shopping.
Yeah.
Go pick up some stuff, Frick. Why not?
So many great albums. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can we ask what the new one that's dropping is?
So on March 26th, it's Erin HUNKS. She's actually a comic. She's our first 100% American comic.
Oh.
She's from Albany, and it is called Zoloft and Probation.
Oh,
Sweet.
interesting.
Yeah.
Great name.
And she's on both those things.
Okay, I'm getting this album.
Yeah. Rory, where can they find Hunk stuff?
You can find Hunks on all social media like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I don't know, anything. LinkedIn, search at Hunks Comedy pretty much anywhere and we'll turn up and you'll find our stuff.
Absolutely. Matt, I understand Hunks is dropping an album soon.
Hunks is dropping an album soon. April 1st, we're going to be releasing our very first recorded live album called Mouth Beef. You can get that everywhere, including Napster. I can't stress this enough.
Yeah.
You can get us on Napster.
Yeah.
And Metallica is not happy about it.
They try to keep us off Napster for years.
Also, we're if you're interested in checking out more Hunk stuff, we're doing a show with the Fringe Festival on. Wait,
March.
your guys
The
are
one from this past weekend would be still online. You could see it
still online, but we also have another one on the 27th.
we have a live one. Yeah, you can watch it live.
And that's a virtual sketch kind of comedy show that we're doing for them, 7:30 Central Standard Time. And that show features a couple great guests, one of which is Steph Tolev.
It'd be great.
Love her.
Yeah.
Very talented comic.
Yeah.
All right, that's about that. Any last questions, comments, or concerns?
Nope.
I love you all.
I love you too.
We love
Thank you
you
so
too.
much, Allison.
Thanks, Allison.
Thanks, Allison.
Thank you.
Boston, March 10th, 1876. Alexander Graham Bell makes the world's first telephone call. Later that evening, his mischievous 9-year-old daughter, Alexandra Greta Bell, makes the world's first prank telephone call. Let's listen to the recordings of this historic event.
Hello?
Hello, is Ivana there? Ivana Huge Dick?
Ivana Huge Dick? No, I'm sorry, she's currently indisposed. This is her husband speaking, Harold. Of course, you may call me Harry.
Oh.
Harry Huge Dick.
Well, then, can I speak with John, please?
No, there is no John here.
No, John? Well, then, where do you go to the bathroom?
Well, if you must know, we defecate and urinate inside of our refrigerator. Unfortunately, all the feces and urine appear to have disabled the refrigerator and is no longer useful for storing foods. Is there anything else that I can help you with?
Yeah, is your refrigerator running?
Sir, as I just explained, it is not. Due to the incredible, and I mean incredible, amount of urine and feces that my family, the Huge Dicks, have caked inside of it. Now, will that be all?
No, I'd like to order a pizza.
You'd like to order a pizza. Okay, well, to do what exactly? A pizza cannot and will not obey, I promise you this. Now, I'm sorry, are you quite sure that you have the correct telephone number?
Is this 8?
Yes, this is 8.
Oh, then I have the right number.
All right, well, as you know, we are in the midst of the first Boer Wars. So I would like to keep the telephone line clear in case news comes in from the front line. Now, please state your reason for calling.
I didn't call you. You called me.
I did? I don't remember. Well, it must be true if a stranger on the phone is saying it. My apologies. This cockamamie telephone has been malfunctioning ever since my wife started relieving herself inside of it, you see. That's my wife, Ivana. Ivana Huge Dick, you know. Anyhow, I'm sorry to have bothered you. Have a great evening.
No, wait.
Yes?
I'm pregnant.
Oh, well, then I guess congratulations are in order.
And it's yours.
Oh, well, now, I think that this time you are mistaken. There is no possible way I could have impregnated you, my good man. You see, I've been impotent since the 3rd grade after I was shot in the penis by a monkey.
What?
I understand the confusion, of course, given that I have 4 children, but I assure you my sons and daughters were the result of a cloning experiment co-funded by the Ford Motor Company and, of course, the Department of Agriculture.
Wait, how did it get a gun?
And I must say the experiment was a wild success. After all, I have the children I always dreamed of, and Henry Ford has his genetically engineered human car parts farm.
I want to hang up now.
It's a win-win across the board. And after the children stop growing camshafts and pistons on their backs and foreskins, they'll be sold as draft animals at a discount.
Please stop talking.
As for the monkey, well, I don't think I need to tell you, we hardly speak anymore.
Dad, how do I turn this thing off?
What the fuck? Are you using my fucking phone? Who said you? Was it Watson? That piece of shit. Watson, get over here. What are you doing telling my idiot daughter she can use my genius invention? I'm Alexander Graham fucking Bell, and I'm gonna beat you up.
Tune in next week for another episode of History Caught on Tape.
HUNKS is a sketch comedy group from Winnipeg. Got it? They are Rory Fallis, Tim Gray, Matt Nightingale, and Dana Smith. Episodes are produced and recorded each week from their homes in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Additional production and sound editing and stuff like that by me, Rusty Mattias, at my home. Thanks again to this week's special guest, Allison Dore. Make sure you listen and subscribe wherever you're listening to the HUNKS podcast right now, and make sure you tune in again next week for another guest that's gonna blow your freaking mind. Have a great week, everybody. Okay, bye!